Hi, I'm Kelly from Rogers Public Library, and it's summertime again, which means Summer Reading Club. Our theme this year is Oceans of Possibility, and today we're here at Sportsco talking scuba with Nate, the scuba instructor here. So how are you doing today, Nate?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good.
How are you today?
I'm good.
Good.
Poolside, what could be better?
Maybe being in the pool.
That would probably be better.
It's
Yes.
pretty hot in here.
Well, I have a few questions for you.
Let's go.
Number one, probably on everyone's list, is Arkansas is a landlocked state.
Yes, ma'am.
So why scuba?
Scuba, we are very, very lucky here to have Beaver Lake. Now, Beaver Lake sometimes gets a bad rap, especially on our end of the lake, because it's kind of muddy, kind of murky. That's where the river actually turns into the lake. Once you get up by the dam, it's crystal clear. In fact, it's so clear, divers from Kansas City, St. Louis, Tulsa, Joplin, Topeka, Oklahoma City, I could go on and on and on, all come down here to dive. So on the weekends, you'll see tons of divers in the lake. Yeah, we are landlocked, but we also have a great airport and access to other good airports, so we can travel anywhere very, very quickly to get into, so much clearer water. We've been here 51 years, and our whole idea is, why, when you're on vacation, would you want to sit in a classroom? Do it here, get your certification with us, go on your trip, you're good to go.
I have a friend who's a scuba diver, and she said the same thing.
Yeah.
It's great to already have your certification done, and some of the training you get at the resort is not really great. So it would be better to do something where you could have a little more attention, a little more time.
That is true, yes. We like to take our time. We've been here 51 years. That's a very long time for any business, let alone a dive shop in Northwest Arkansas. And we came up a long time ago. We want to take time with you. We want you comfortable so that when you do go on your trip, there's no questions about it. And I mean, I'm not trying to brag, but we get compliments on our divers all the time.
Great. So tell me about some of your favorite places to dive.
Oh, that's the hardest question ever. Everywhere is so different. I love Cozumel. Cozumel, Mexico is incredible. You have huge pinnacles of corals. You've got currents, so you can just kind of ride or go with the flow, if you will, the current along, and you really just got to steer. It's great. You see, with the current, you see so much different diversity of life. I also really like Bonaire. It's kind of like going through a botanical garden. There's just corals and stuff everywhere, hundreds of tiny little fish, but they're two totally different places, so it's really hard to compare which one I like the best.
Where is Bonaire?
Bonaire is actually the southern part of the Caribbean. It's part of the ABC island chain of Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire.
Okay.
It's about 40 or 50 miles off the coast of Venezuela.
Okay.
It's nice because it's out of the hurricane belt, so.
That's nice. We like to be away from hurricanes and tornadoes.
Right.
So have you ever had any really exciting diving experiences?
Oh, of
Really
course.
notable ones.
Of
Yeah.
course. Let me think. How about I tell you one with a student?
Great.
So I had this student, this was a very long time ago. She was a young teenage girl. Very hard to get to show any enthusiasm about everything. We did the pool, took her to the lake. We had a great time. I'd always be like, what'd you think of that? What'd you think of that? And she was like, yeah, it was cool. It was cool, typical teenage girls. And so she ended up going on one of the Cozumel trips with the store, because we do group trips all around the world. And the very first dive, she and her dad go off. I'm over here with some other people, and I climb onto the boat. And before I can even walk to my seat, she comes running up to me, gets in front of me. She goes, did you see the turtle? Did you see the shark? Did you see the eel? I mean, she was so excited. And I was like, yes, I finally got you excited about something. So that was probably one of my coolest stories as an instructor.
Okay.
So as far as stuff I've seen, we were doing a night dive, and I come across this sea turtle that was asleep, and I'm not kidding you. His head was on a sponge. And so I've got my camera, and I'm taking all these pictures, and he's not moving. I'm like, I really hope it's asleep. But he ended up waking up after other people came with their flashes and their cameras, and he swam off. But that was a cool thing to find, just a turtle asleep on the bottom.
On a sponge.
On a sponge. On a sponge.
Oh, okay. So you mentioned diving in Beaver Lake.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that part of the course that you do?
Yes, it
for
is.
divers?
So the class is actually 3 different parts. It is a classroom portion, it's a confined water or swimming pool portion, and it is an open water portion where we go to the lake. So we go to the lake to do our checkout dives. So we learn everything here. We get comfortable here, we get fitted, we get sized, work out all of the bugs and the kinks that we might have, any anticipations. And then we go to the lake, and you just got to show me you can do a few skills on each dive. The rest of the time we're diving and having a good time, playing with the fish, looking for the turtles, all different things. So,
We do have turtles here too.
we do. We have a lot of turtles.
Tell me something about the dive community around
Mhm.
here.
Well, we've been here 51 years, so we've got a lot of divers in the area. Once you start looking for dive flags on license plates, you'll see hundreds of them. We have a very strong, tightly knit community that like to travel with us. So we do 4 to 6 trips around the world a year. Well, normal years we do 4 to 6. The last couple we haven't been able to do that. But so we have a lot of people that like to travel with us and like to go with us as a group. And usually if you go on one trip with us, the next trip you go, you're going to know somebody on that trip.
Okay.
And it's people from all walks of life.
Mhm.
That's the best thing about this. You don't have to have a lot of money. You don't have to have a fancy job or anything like that. You can be sitting next to a guy that drives a Corvette every day and a guy that drives a Volkswagen Beetle. And we get along great because we're talking about the same thing and having a good time.
Oh, that sounds great. So your classes, let's talk a little about the classes. How often do you run classes?
We try to start a new class about every 2 weeks. Our classes are typically 2 nights a week for 2 weeks. That way you're in the pool 4 different sessions, so you get lots of practice.
And how many people are usually in that class?
It varies. We usually start, we want to have at least 4 people in a class,
Mhm.
but if we get higher numbers, we like to throw 2 instructors in there.
Okay.
That way when we get in the pool, we're in 2 smaller groups. So we don't want you to feel like you're one out of like 12 people and you're lost and you're ignored. We want you to have 2 smaller groups so you have more of a one-on-one type scenario.
That sounds great. What about equipment? What do people need to own to take the class or to get started in scuba diving?
Yes, ma'am. So for the class, we want you to have your personal gear, like your mask, your snorkel, your boots, and your fins. Stuff that fits you right. We are very good at helping you find your own stuff. I'm going to say it again, we've been here 51 years, but we're not here to get you the most expensive stuff. We want you to get stuff that's adequate for you, that will work for you. And so we have all that stuff for sale. If you get in the pool, you're not happy with it, we'll work with you on it. So there's a big benefit getting it from us versus somewhere like Amazon. Because some of that stuff it's got to be fitted right. So if you're just ordering something and you don't know, it may not function for you in the water. And then you're kind of sunk.
Well, it sounds like you pay a lot of attention to your students,
Oh,
and
yes, ma'am.
you're there step by step.
Oh, of
and
course. Yes.
Just from beginning to end. I wonder if we could go and take a look at some of the equipment. I've never scuba
course.
dived. I don't even know what stuff looks like. So
Well, it is a gear intensive sport. There's lots to look at. So let's go.
okay, great. Let's do it.
Okay.
So this is the equipment. Why don't
Yes,
you show us how to gear up?
Yeah, sure. Here we go.
Thanks, Nate. That was really interesting.
Well, my pleasure. Maybe next time we can answer some questions down there.
Sounds great. And you guys remember, sign up for Summer Reading Club at Rogers Public Library. Oceans of possibilities. And explore your own world for the possibilities right around the corner. Maybe you'll find scuba is something you want to explore.